So nothing's really going on in the UFC. So I'm just forced to pull content out of my ass. But I'm going to have fun while I do it. Today I'm going to be predicting the next champion in every single male weight class in the UFC. We're going to have some fun with this. If you hype for this video, consider hitting that subscribe button. Absolutely free, and it keeps me going. Hit that like button. Share this to somebody I know they'll enjoy it. Let's get into it. We're going to start with the flyweight division. Who's going to be the champion after Alexandre Pantoja? One of the most See, he's my greatest flyweight of all time. But, oh, he's not going to get 11 title defenses. Fuck that. Nobody's going to do that shit. DJ fought for the belt in his second flyweight fucking fight. After he just lost at Bantamweight. Like, come on with that shit, bro. He never stood a chance. Nobody really stands a chance to get that shit. But, Alexandre Pantoja, the next champion after Alexandre Pantoja in the flyweight division is going to be Joshua Van. But it's after Pantoja retires, though. Joshua Van is 23 years old, and he's a stylistic matchup nightmare for every single person except for Pantoja. And Pantoja, he's a harder stylistic matchup than a lot of his fights. But seeing what Pantoja was able to do to Kai Asakura, who doesn't really have the wrestling defense as Joshua Van, but he hits way harder than Joshua Van. He actually throws output as well, a more variety of strikes besides just the hands. And he's bigger and he's taller and he's longer. I think Alexandre Pantoja can get a hold of this guy and show him different levels. But after Pantoja is out of the division, I don't think anybody can really compete with him besides Kai Asakura. Like I said, Kai Asakura, Pantoja sunned him. But let's not forget, Kai Asakura was cracking the shit out of Alexandre Pantoja in that fight. It's just Alexandre Pantoja. I think Kai Asakura knocks out a lot of flyweights. And his run is going to be pretty good. I'm telling you that right now. But who does that to Brandon Royval? Matches the output and out damages him. Brandon Moreno was not able to do that with Brandon Royval. Think he's a bad matchup for Brandon Moreno. We just saw what he did to Brandon Royval. Manel Kopp is interesting because Miguel Kopp fucking cracks. But when Manel Kopp is in a competitive fight, somebody else who can come forward, somebody else who can hold their own in the striking and really match him and out-volume him, his output shrinks and the fights become more competitive. But Joshua Van, 23 years old, sky's the limit. Dude has 10 plus years left in the UFC. Alexandre Pantoja is probably going to be champion for another 2 years. 25-year-old Joshua Van continuing to get better from fight to fight. I think he's going to be champion. Moving on to the Bantamweight division, Merab Dvalishvili. Great champion, dominant champion. Who's going to be champ after Merab Dvalishvili? Umar Nurmagomedov. I promise this whole video is not going to be after they retire or after they leave. But I think Umar is going to be champion after Merab's gone. But I think he could beat Merab in a rematch. Umar came in that first fight, and he was almost trying to prove a point in that fight to where he could wrestle and he can out-wrestle Merab. And he gassed himself out for it. Habib's in the corner telling him, don't wrestle, stop wrestling. And he goes out there and he continues to wrestle. And by round 3, round 4, he had nothing left in the tank. Round 1 and 2 were clear. He was outstriking Merab. If Umar keeps his striking, he doesn't try to force, because it was all forced. And it was just bad shots. If he just doesn't do that and he keeps his striking, who am I to think he can't 1, 2, and 3 instead of just 1 and 2? 1, 2, and 3, have more cardio come the third round and take that one as well on the feet. So I think Umar is Merab's toughest test. I really want to see the rematch after Umar gets one more win. But I think after Merab's gone, Umar, the youth, he's a bad matchup for everyone. We saw what he did to Corey Sandhagen. I think he'll wrestle the shit out of Sean O'Malley, and he can hold his own in the striking as well. He's super fast, beautiful kicks, longer than you really expect. I like Umar Nurmagomedov. Mate, I just got the fucking belt back. Mate, I'm number 1 pound for pound, the fucking GOAT. Listen, that was a bad impression, I know. Listen, Alexander Volkanovski. Balance has been restored. The only thing that would have made this better, Charles Oliveira got the belt back, but it's all good. It's all good. It's probably better for the UFC that Ilya won. But I'm just going to say this right now. Keep this fucking guy away from my king. Don't let him skip Mavzar. And at this point, I know he doesn't deserve it. And this is I'm kind of trolling, but the Volk fan in me is like, can we get the Yair matchup too? Anything to keep this guy away from my glorious king, Alexander Volkanovski, because he will KO Volkanovski. He'll KO Volkanovski. He's on the Ilya Topuria run at 45 right now. So fucking dangerous. Stout. Brick wall, take down the fence. Submitting Bryce Mitchell. That's the path to a title. Just saying. Dangerous one-punch knockout power. Fast. You never see this guy coming. He's keeping you on your toes. This guy's a fucking nightmare. Please keep this guy away from Alexander Volkanovski. But I do think Gene Silva will be the next champion. I think if Volk does fight Mavzar, he beats Mavzar. If he does fight Yair, he beats Yair outside of a fluke. Gene Silva's the guy who can actually go in there and just beat Alexander Volkanovski. He might get outpointed before he gets beat, but he beats Alexander Volkanovski. Please keep this guy away from Alexander Volkanovski. Moving on, we got lightweight. Nobody's beating this guy. Nobody's beating this guy lightweight. I made a video about this. I made multiple videos about this. Nobody's beating this guy lightweight. This guy doesn't lose until he goes up to 170. And by the time that happens, I think I think Omar Farouk will be the champion. I think while Islam is in the division, he was the second best lightweight. While Ilya's in the division now, he's still the second best lightweight. Stylistical matchup, hard matchup for everybody. Even the young and up and comers, Joel Alvarez finished him. You know, he beat Charles Oliveira. But Darius doesn't stand a chance. Mateus Gamrot doesn't stand a chance. You know, Ilya's gonna have to be gone. Omar Farouk is 28 years old. By the time the division's open, Omar to be 31, maybe 32. And I think it's just going to be his division unless we see some crazy lightweight just come in and just start. Like, I don't think Hoofy can beat this guy, especially not right now. Hoofy has to get better. I think this guy can get his hands on Hoofy, take Hoofy down, take the win out of Hoofy cells, and then the fast, dynamic, ooh and ah, Conor McGregor looking shit is going to be nullified. I think Omar Farouk is going to be your next lightweight champion. Moving on to 170. And I'm just like you, JDM. I don't know who beating you. I got you beating Islam. I got you beating Sean Brady. Sean Brady trying to be a car crash, trying to rush across distance, trying to impose his will. JDM's going to stand his ground. Pop, 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 pop. Box the fucking shit out of him. I don't know. Kamaru Usman's not going to be able to take you down and just hold you there. You're going to be way harder to find. Ian Gary's a fun matchup, but I'm just going to be honest. Ian Gary's boxing is nowhere near as JDM, and Ian Gary does a great job of using his kicks to nullify other guys' hands, but I think JDM closes the distance and probably wins on damage, if not KOs. Ian Gary. And I'm not saying this guy beats Jack Della Maddalena, but I think this is Jack Della Maddalena's hardest test. And I also think this is this guy's hardest test. Jack Della Maddalena is this guy's hardest test. Ilya Topuria. It sounds crazy right now. But Bilal was able to close distance, put JDM on the back foot. In unload combinations, he just didn't have the stopping power. Ilya Topuria will have the power to hurt these guys at 170. Maybe not one punch flatline KO him, but if he's one punch flatline KO people at 55, he's going to be able to hurt people at 70. At the least, hurt them. Put some combination together and get some TKOs. And I think Jack's a very, very hard fight for Ilya because Ilya's not really that great going backwards. His offense isn't really that great going backwards, and JDM is good going backwards and going forward. You know, he's more well-rounded in the boxing in that aspect. Well, Ilya has the power to make up for everything, you know. He can completely change a fight with one punch. But if Bilal was able to land 25, 30 strikes around while your back is on the fence, you don't want to have your back against the fence against Ilya at all in the slightest. So Ilya does have a chance. Moving on to 85. I just made a video yesterday. Please go watch that. But the guy who beats DDP is Nasruddin Imavov. I think Nasruddin Imavov not only beats DDP, I think he smokes him. Now I made a complete video dedicated to this. I think he smokes DDP. You know, when DDP's trying to crash with his eyes closed in the pocket, Nasruddin Imavov so aware. He's slipping his head off the center. He's fucking pop, 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 uppercut, left hook, bam, uppercut, left hook, right hook again. Elbow over the top, clinch. Nasty. It's not going to be easy with his eyes closed trying to wing. It's not going to be Sean Strickland. No, he's going to be able to have the power that Sean Strickland and Izzy don't have to make DDP think twice before he unintelligently closes that distance. And I guess this kind of spoils. I think DDP beats Homicide. As of right now, that can change. But Nasruddin Imavov smokes DDP. We all will be rooting for DDP. For Nasruddin Imavov, and we all will be on the Nasruddin Imavov hype train. Moving on to 205. Big Ank. Who beats Big Ank? The title run could... Okay, I'm kidding. I'm gonna say Alex Pereira. How confident am I in this? But I like Alex Pereira's chances in a rematch. I think somebody gets finished regardless. I think either Alex gets finished or Magomed gets finished, because coming out of that fight, one thing you could take away is Magomed was not able to take this guy down at all. So Alex could probably open up a bit more, stop being so defensive, open up a bit more, have more faith in your takedown defense, have more faith in your reaction time, and open up. Magomed, coming out of that fight, we can also say Magomed had the speed, and he was just popping Alex Pereira, hitting with shots that he couldn't see. Actually hurt Alex Pereira in that fight as well, while making Alex Pereira back up, pushing Alex Pereira against the fence. But I think Alex Pereira changes his game plan in the rematch. I quite frankly do. I think Alex Pereira comes out, I'm not backing up. I'm holding the center. The center is mine. I'm going to open up, and if you take me down, well, we'll just deal with it then. But the center is mine. I'm going to actually let my hands go, because Alex Pereira did not let his hands go in that fight. He didn't let any power shots go. And it was Magomed. It was the speed, and it was the fact that Alex Pereira was coming back, and he was kind of paranoid about the takedown, but he defended every single takedown. He has to have more confidence in that. He has to let his hands go. Moving on to heavyweight. Who beats Tommy? you can beat Tom. It could be you watching this video at the age of 13 years old. You know, you're pretty big for your age, you know, but you want to stay in shape. You're an athlete, you know, and maybe your football career doesn't go correct. Or maybe your basketball career kind of falls on his face. I hope that doesn't happen if that's your dream. And then you're like, shit, let me fight. And then, but Tom Aspinall has to be gone. Not to say I don't believe in you, but Tom Aspinall will have to be retired at that point, you know. And then maybe you know, you're on the regional and get the UFC contract, and then maybe you, after Tom Aspinall vacates, because you're not beating Tom Aspinall, little bro, then you become heavyweight champion. That's all I got for you. It was a quick little fun video. I had fun doing it. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to somebody I know that enjoys it like you did. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here, man. Yeah.